welcome back to the channel, and I'm in between dioramas at the moment. I've just finished the big 1/6 scale Cantina for the sideshow and hot toy figures, and I'm now working on the Endor diorama, but I'm kind of at an in-between point where I had to put that on the shelf for a minute, and I had to take care of a project for a very good friend of mine. His name is Sam Cobra, and he is a longtime channel member, and he's a really good friend. I've met him several times now at different conventions and things. And my other good friend, the Stone Mandalorian, and I have gotten to know him over the years. He's a great guy. And he has asked me if I could possibly fix this old Kenner Land Speeder box. Now, the Land Speeder is one of my all-time favorites. It is a real honor to work on this box. So Sam is a purist at heart. You can see even this box has had the proof of purchase removed for probably a mail-away figure back many generations ago. But he doesn't want me to fix he doesn't want me to, what am I trying to say? He wants me to keep the character. He wants me to keep the charm. So he doesn't necessarily want me to, fix all of it. He wants me to keep the age and the wear of the box, but he wants me to sort of bring it back. So I can do that. I think we can do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it's gonna be a little quick video. I also have the Land Speeder. So the Land Speeder is gonna be part of this restoration as well, but I wanted to start with the box. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna relax this. We're gonna disassemble the box. There's one seam here. We're gonna take this seam off, we're gonna undo it. Then we're gonna humidify the box. We're gonna humidify the cardboard. I'm gonna put that outside. I'm gonna show you how to do that. But the first step is let's delaminate this seam here, and we'll start from that. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna need to find some sort of delaminating agent. So this is some lighter fluid, some Ronson oil, that works very well. And then this is the really pro strength goof off. You gotta be very careful with this, but this is incredibly effective. So we're gonna try with the lesser of these first, see if we can delaminate that seam. Here again, I'm in my kitchen. This is my, I'm gonna show you real quick. This is my awesome kitchen island, but it's a Husky workbench, like an automotive workbench, and it works out great for my projects. So a lot of the basic construction of dioramas and restorations will be going on in here. And first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take advantage of this work table, and I'm going to delaminate. So let's start with the Ronson oil first, see how that works. Okay, so we're gonna take the Ronson oil and we're gonna just sort of get it into this seam. So I'm gonna take a little bit and just let the material sort of separate naturally. So just a little bit at a time. Now, the lighter fluid tends to work pretty well. If not, we've got the other more industrial stuff, but I don't want to use that because it sometimes discolors the old cardboard. So let's try with this first. So I'm going to use that, and I'm just letting it get into that seam. All right. Give it a minute, let's see what happens. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this really sharp X-Acto knife and I'm gonna cut along the seam a little bit. I don't wanna damage it, but I'm just gonna allow this lighter fluid to get in there, and that cut in the seam should definitely help. So there we go. And again, just take your time, there's no rush with this. And the lighter fluid should start to dissolve that adhesive in there, that decades old adhesive. So let's just take its time, okay? So take a look at this. I let it sit for about 5 minutes, and it just delaminated pretty much all by itself. So the lighter fluid, it took a little while, took 5 minutes to soak, keep reapplying it, and it just completely delaminated, or dissolved the glue that was holding these two boxes together, these two flaps together. And really the cardboard is completely undamaged. That's a little bit of, see, this here is just a little bit of that side, but I can take that off with the glue. But now what you've got is you've got a box that is delaminated, and now you can do the rest of it. Well, we do have to take some of this. Somebody had put some regular old like Scotch tape. We're gonna take that off as well. So we're gonna do that now. We're gonna hit that with a little bit of the lighter fluid as well. And that should delaminate it pretty convincingly. Oh shit, I meant that's the wrong stuff. We're gonna use this, okay? Okay, there we go. We're gonna use this, take that right off. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, so we have the entire box. All of the adhesive is melted off. I'm going around, I'm finding little pieces of Scotch tape. It looks like maybe Sam or the owner before Sam went around with some Scotch tape. If I see any Scotch tape, like I see another piece right here, sometimes it hides on you, you don't see it. There's a piece right here. We're gonna take that off with the lighter fluid as well. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in a plastic bin and we're gonna let it humidify. It's a nice hot summer day. So once we're done with all of that, we're gonna put it in a plastic bin with water and we're gonna have it suspended over a tray. We're gonna let it humidify and relax all this cardboard. So that's the next step. So like right here, I've been pulling at this piece of tape. There's a little piece of tape right there. And it's like old school Scotch tape, which is like industrial strength. So it's gonna take some time, but what you wanna do is you wanna just get the lighter fluid underneath it and very, very carefully just keep pulling. Just don't pull at it. Let the lighter fluid do its thing. You really don't wanna pull it. You just wanna encourage it. And like over here, here's another one where this is a piece of the original 70s packing tape. And I've got my tweezers here and I'm just sort of lightly pulling it. Now, really it's the lighter fluid is doing the work here. So you want to just kind of keep pulling at it. Just keep pulling at it. And if you take your time with it, right, you're going to notice that it will remove the tape. Right, there it is. Just about to come off, right? So you want to hit it a little bit more with that. Let it dissolve in its own time. Not on my time. It's going to dissolve on its own time. You got to be patient with this, okay? Do that. Let it kind of, there you go. See that it's coming off now. Real good. And bam. There's the old 1977, 1978 packing tape removed. Totally undamaged. So now we're gonna do the same thing to this last piece of tape, and then we're gonna put it in our humidification bath. Now here's a really good example of why when you put on Scotch tape to repackage things, no matter how much you try, chances are there's gonna be a little bit of damage. Now right here, you can see it was the very last piece I pulled off and there was this little bit of damage from the tape. You can actually see the residual on the tape right there. This here was pre-existing. I didn't do that, I don't think. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, no, I did. There it is on the tape. So tape can really damage things no matter how hard you try, no matter how slow you go. I had been pulling this piece of tape for about 35 minutes and still it's just difficult. But we got it off and we can either restore or repair this. That's not a big deal. I think we're gonna leave it on, but I'll ask Sam and see what he wants to do. But there it is. So there it is. So now we're gonna take care of the rest. All right, we're gonna fill this up just a little bit. Doesn't have to be totally full. Probably that's enough. And I got this baking rack. The baking rack in there. And that's just gonna provide a little bit of distance. And now we're gonna put the cardboard on top of it. All right, so it's been about 48 hours and here's my bucket. If you recall, I put a little bit of water on the bottom of it. Then I have this baking tray so that the cardboard was sitting not in the water, but above the water. And then in these hot summer days, the humidification from this really got into it. So as you can see, look at how much more. It's just very, very limber now. And if you look at the back, the untreated side, you can see there's really quite a bit of moisture that got in there, but that's okay. That's going to help it. So this is the side that has the veneer, the photography and the veneer on it. And that's not quite as damp, but the humidification got in on this side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on this towel and I'm going to take another towel and put it over it. And then I'm going to compress it with a very heavy weight. I have some heavy weights. So we're going to let this compress. Then if that doesn't work completely, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We always have the iron that we can use if we need to. But I think we're going to be in good luck. And then we're going to figure out a way to sort of repair this corner. So we're going to repair that corner just for stability, not necessarily to restore it for looks, but for stability. And then we're going to reglue it and see what we've got. Okay, stand by. So the flattening with the heavy weight wasn't entirely effective. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking an iron with plenty of steam in it. And I'm just going over it lightly. And I'm just gonna see if I can flatten it out that way. So just take the iron, flatten it out, and we'll see what happens, right? All right, let's see, give it a quick little iron, and then we'll let it dry. All right, so we've got the box. It's fully dried, and before we start assembling it, we have some restoration work to do. We have to obviously fix this patch as much as we can. We have to pull one more little tiny piece of tape off over here. And while it's flat, this is a perfect time to start polishing it, because it's going to be much harder to polish and return the luster to the box when it's all fitted together. Now we are going to support the inside of the box with some foam core board, but this is a great time to put the initial first 1 or 2 coats of polish on the outside of it. Now the important thing is I don't want to get any here, and I don't want to get any over on this seam here, because that's where we're going to glue it. But everywhere else is pretty much fair game. So let's take a moment, and we're going to spray a little bit of the polish on the box. And just take a really nice soft cloth, and we're just going to start rubbing it in like this while it's flat, right? I'm going to keep off from the price tag. It's a really cool price tag. And that piece of tape, I'm going to obviously avoid that for now. But everything else, I'm just going to polish it just like this. Going to go around it. I would do 1 or 2 coats personally, 1 or 2 coats of the polish, and that's going to really return the luster to it. Now we're going to polish it again when it's all fitted back together, but again, you can take advantage of this moment and do it now. So I'll meet you back in a few minutes, and we're going to take care of those repairs. All right, so I've buffed with the Pledge, and this is a wax. It's a furniture wax, furniture polish. And what it does is it just really provides a beautiful luster. I think you can see that luster on the box now. And it lifts any of the surface dirt off of it, takes any of that deep ground in, and you can really see what it does. It just really gives almost that brand new factory gloss to the box. And after having ironed it, it is flat as a pancake. I mean, that box, you can't get much flatter than that. Now, I have done one of my little secrets, and so this is something that you might want to try or not. What I've done is I've actually taken some starch, some spray starch, like you would put on like in the military, we would starch our shirts, and it's kind of like a heavy starch, and I did a light coat on the inside of them. And as you can see, there's still some drying, but what that's going to do is it's going to help firm up the box from the inside. It's going to definitely help firm up the box. It's going to give that box a little bit of added, what happens over time is cardboard starts to deteriorate. It starts to almost powder up on the inside. So this is what it's going to do, is going to add a little bit more cell structure to the depleted cardboard on the untreated side. So as you can see, it's starting to dry now. So I'm going to give it another, I don't know, probably let it sit overnight. And then we're going to start working on that. So the big thing is, now that we have this box looking really, really nice, we're now going to come up with a solution. Now I think I have a solution for this. And what I want to do is sort of honor this without adding anything new or out of bounds to this. So I have an idea of what we're going to do. And then also it's part of the structural integrity of the box. It's where the box lines up at the bottom with the other side. So it's really important that we do something here to firm it up. So for the next phase, we're going to start to re-glue this, and we're also going to take some glue. I've got a little bit of PVA glue, and you can see where that's lifting up. We're going to go across any of the box, and if there's any parts where the cardboard is delaminating, we're going to take that and treat that. And then we're going to start putting the box back together. Okay, stand by. Okay, so now the cardboard is completely dry. It's nice and flat, as flat as I can get it. And it has been treated with, on this side, it was treated with some heavy starch, and that kind of gives a little bit more rigidity to the paper. But now I want to go around with just some regular old like white glue, like PVA glue. And what I want to do is there's a couple of spots here, you can see right here, where this is lifting up. You can see the brush. So I'm going to take this fan brush, I'm going to put some glue on it, I'm going to lay it back down, see if we can do that. Go around the box and do it as needed. So what we're going to do, put this glue if you ever order anything like sauce or salad dressing from a restaurant, you get these little takeouts. These are great. I love these. All right, take a little bit of the glue. And this isn't fancy glue. This is just regular old cheap glue from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put it down here. And I'm also going to get the other side. Those little wispy pieces. I'm going to see if I can get those as well. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put them down and have them lay down like that. Now, yeah, there's a little bit of glue on top, but what we're going to do is once it lays down, we're going to sponge that off, okay? And as you can tell, that really just laid down beautifully. All right, so let's go around the box and see if there's any other places like that. That works really, really well. Let's see. I would say right here, there's this little corner flap. Now I know it's right at the very end, but it's lifting. So let's do the same thing. A bit of the PVA glue, I call it white glue, craft glue. You know, it's the glue that we had when we were kids, you know, for all those different school projects and things. All right, so I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna just sort of lay that down. And hopefully, yeah, look at it go. It's laying down again. Good. Now, if you want to, I've even got these little clips here. So if this weren't laying down, we could use this clip. So let's do that. I'm going to clip this. Just a little bit of extra pressure right there. Keep that down. Okay, so we're going to clip that down. All right, I would say that's pretty good. I don't see any other spots that are major. So let's call that good enough. And then what we're going to do is once those spots dry, then we're going to actually glue the other section, and we're going to actually glue the box back together. All right, so stay tuned for that. All right, now those little spots that we glued are pretty well set. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the glue and we're going to go along this, and then we're going to glue it to that edge. Oh no, we can't yet. We can't. We have to fix the box first. So now we got to fix this little spot here, and I've been thinking long and hard about how to do it. One of the things I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a clear patch. I'm going to do a restoration patch on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take a little bit of that PVA glue, that white glue, and I'm actually going to hit this area. So why am I doing this? Well, it's going to firm it up a little bit, and it's going to make it easier to cut. So that way, whatever repair I do, I'm not tearing away at incredibly fragile cardboard. So this is just going to add a little bit of rigidity to it so that whatever repair I decide to do, and I think I know what I'm going to do, this is going to just make it a little bit easier to handle and to work with. So again, some of this material is going to be removed so that I can make a clean edge on the repair, but this is going to help me firm that up, all right? So that's what I'm doing. Just one more second here. I'm also trying to get that little frayed piece to lay down. So that's what I'm doing right here. So there's that. Now my plan, what is the plan? So I've thought a lot about how I want to do this. And I think this was obviously a proof of purchase. There's a very square cut there. So what I'm going to do, the plan is to find a piece of similar cardboard width and replace this square. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit so that this makes a right angle, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find some paper of the same thickness as this. I may even just paint this. Once we repair this patch and we glue it down, I may just decide that we paint this square that we're going to build. We might just paint it black and finish it off in a black varnish that's similar. And then that way it's not going to be too, offensive to the eye. It's definitely not going to stick out, but I actually thought about maybe taking a picture of this and then printing it out and matching it because it's the same size as that one. But that would not be original to the box. And so what I'm trying to do is make this as original without doing any reproduction work. So in another video, I'll show you how to do some reproduction work, but this is for a buddy of mine named Sam, who is a real purist at heart. And I know that he would want this to be as original as possible. So making a repair is one thing, but adding text or something like that is something a little bit different. So we're gonna make it black, all right? And really, at the end of the day, this is the bottom of the box. It's never gonna be the displayed piece, but it's worth it because it's got this great image. This image on the bottom of the box is actually Mark Hamill and company in the land speeder. It's an actual picture of them, not the toy. So it's a piece of Star Wars history. So I want to preserve it. So that's what we're gonna do. So stay tuned. All right, so now you can see the donor piece. You can probably see what my plan is here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just lightly trace. I have the edge of the donor piece of cardboard is underneath this. It goes underneath it. So that way all we have to do is just make a few light lines and then we'll make a piece that fits exactly into what's given here. All right? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, just like that. Then it should just be a simple matter of replacing it, placing the piece, and then we'll figure out a way to sort of fill in whatever might be left. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the lines on it now. There's the lines. So we're gonna cut these lines and then we're gonna fit it. Oh boy, that slipped on me. All right, there we go. Let's try that again. There it is. One piece. It doesn't want to come off at the end. There we go. All right. There's one trimmed piece. Let's see how it works. All right, so here is our custom cut piece, and let's see how we did. It's gonna fit beautifully right into there. It's nice and flush along that edge and that edge. And then the box, the crease of the box is right there. So this little white flap, that's gonna go inside the box. I'm not even gonna worry about that. But this is now going to be flush with the bottom of the box. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit straighter of a line here, and then we're gonna start gluing it into place. And we're gonna reinforce it from the back as well. So what I'm gonna do is, what I did was I took the glue and I did it along this leading edge and this leading edge. Then I glued the edges so that it forms a decent bond, and then I'm gonna go over the entire thing with the glue here. All right, there's that. All right, let's let that kick in and we'll continue on. Okay, now what I've done is I've just taken a piece of this packing tape. This packing tape, and what I've done, you can probably see it there, I have put it over where this is. Now this is really nice and flush here. So this is just a little bit of added reinforcement. So it's been glued and now it's been also taped on the inside, and you're never ever going to see that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus a little bit more on finishing this out and sort of maybe blending it and matching it. So what I'd like to do is this here, I'd like to blend this all together. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a blend of black paint, some very, very thin black paint, and a little bit of semi-gloss Mod Podge. We're gonna see if we can fade that in a little bit. So I think that's the game plan moving forward. So let's see how we do. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I just took a little dollop of this black paint, this super cheap black paint, and it's got it in this little mixing tray. And then I've got a little bit of, I've mixed glossy Mod Podge and flat Mod Podge. And what I'm gonna do is see if I can get that to the same type of sheen or finish. So it might take a couple of coats. So the intention is to get a coat down, and then we can always modify the finish at the end to get it just right to match the existing cardboard. So what I'm gonna do right now is I've already taken a little bit of Mod Podge and I've sort of sealed it just sort of as a base coat so that it really sits well. So here we go. Here's our black paint and our Mod Podge. So what we're gonna do is just lightly, we don't have to go crazy with this, but I think you'll find that it should be a pretty convincing match. So we're just gonna kind of fill this in. I think what I might do as well is see how I'm gonna, I think I might even leave that little tear there just to sort of indicate, you know, I'm not trying to, I might leave that just as an interesting sort of conversation piece. It might make it a little more convincing. So, all right. So there's that. So let's see what happens when this dries. Let's see when it dries, if it's close. If it's not, we can modify it and do things, but I think it's gonna be very close, and we can always weather it a little bit to match the existing, that patina of the old box if it's not close enough. But let's see what we got when we're done. All right, cool. Okay, now we've repaired that black corner and we're gonna put the finishing touches on it once the box is assembled. So now the most important thing to do is now we have to glue the two ends of the box together so that it joins the cardboard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna once again reach into the old glue, the glue thing, and here we go. All right, so we've repaired that corner and we're going to finish off that corner and match it once the box is completely assembled. So we have the what we've done here, as you can see it. So there's the corner that we repaired for the box, and we're going to continue to repair that after the box is assembled. We're going to match all the corners and make it look good. But now what we need to do is we need to glue with our simple white glue. We need to get some more of that going, and we're going to glue the two corners of the box together, and we're going to then join it. And so what we're going to do is just glue this up. I've got it just off camera here. We're going to do that, and then we're going to hit this edge. And then once the box is completely reassembled, we're going to then shore it up from the inside. We're going to put some black foam core board on the inside. It's going to be completely removable. It's not going to alter the box in any way. But the idea being that it's going to make the box nice and rigid. So it's a displayable box. And I think that'll be a really nice way to sort of honor this box. And I think Sam will really appreciate that. All right, so there's that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna match the two ends of the box together. They're gonna take this long piece of wood, we're gonna run it through the inside of the box, and we're gonna clamp it so that way it has a good solid seal. So let me take a moment and set that up, and I'll be right back. Just set that edge. Okay, so it took me a few seconds to get it going, but essentially what I've done is I've matched the flap on the bottom to the side here, and then what I did was I ran a piece of wood along the bottom and I clamped it with two of my clamps. And that way, as you can tell, that seam inside is gonna be nice and flat. It's gonna be really nice seal there with the glue. And we can always touch it up if we have to. So we're gonna let this sit. I think I'm gonna let it sit overnight. But as you can tell, the box is really starting to shape up again. It's really starting to shape up. It's gonna be nice. So my future plan is for the next step. Once this is glued, we're gonna assemble an interior foam core structure on the inside, make it nice and tight, and the box is gonna just snap to life, be really nice with crisp edges, and then we will put the finishing touches on it. And then we'll restore the land speeder as part of this as well. So stay tuned, it's gonna be really cool. Okay, so overnight the box glued, and I have this really nice seam in here. It laid down beautifully. Our clamp system worked great. So what we're gonna do now, the final thing is we've got it all nice. Now this patch that we've done, this is gonna come out real nice. So I've glued it, I've sanded it, and I don't know if you can tell it's been sanded, but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the box all together, and then once it's firm and shaped up, then we're gonna go back and do the final detailing on it, see if we can get it matched, at least close enough, right, for displayable purposes. So the box is together, and now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this foam core board. So this is a piece of foam core that I bought at Dollar Tree or Dollar General, whatever it is. And it's $1.25, and it's black. So it could be black, white, whatever color, but black actually works pretty well. It's going inside of the box. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take my tape measure, and I'm going to measure these inside surfaces up, the vertical, the horizontal, and then I'm gonna do 2 end panels. So what we're gonna do is we're going to firm this box up, and then we're gonna tack it in place with some glue once it's all together, and that way it'll help keep the box as rigid as possible. So let's start cutting these pieces, and I'll be back once all the pieces are cut, then we'll fit them in. All right, let's fit it in. All right, there's the first one. There's the second one. Now the box is really going to get rigid once we start putting the perpendicular pieces in. So there we go, there's the first one. We're gonna pop that in, it's gonna friction fit. So we just gotta friction fit this. There we go. It's gonna really stabilize this thing quite a bit. It's kind of hard to do it on camera, but you get the idea. We're gonna do that. And we'll do this one. There, it's really starting to get rigid now. Okay, I'll be right back. there's the one. I cut a hole in it, so now that way you can pull it out if you want to and access the inside of the box. But I have a feeling that my buddy Sam is going to want this sealed as close to original as possible. So we'll let him do the final sealing on that. But there we go. We're gonna just square up the box a little bit like that. There you go. There is a really beautifully restored box. So what we're gonna do now is just put a final coat of polish on it. We're gonna sand down that little repair job that we did. We'll take a look at it and we'll stay tuned for the final part. Well, here we are. So in the next part, I'm going to show you how I restored this old vintage land speeder. I was able to salvage and find some original stickers on it, even in the storage compartment. So there's that one. It's been reapplied. It's really in beautiful condition. I mean, there's a little bit of wear and tear, but that's okay. So I know Sam well enough to know that he's going to want this in the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in some bubble wrap, and I'm gonna put it in the box, and then he can have the fun of either knowing it's in there sealed safely, or he can open it up like it's 1978 all over again. So I'm gonna wrap this up, and then we're gonna polish the box. Oh, and stay tuned for my restoration video on this too. That'll be in part 2. We're gonna dress this patch on the box one last time with a little bit of old sandpaper. We're gonna see if we can take some of the high spots off of it. And we're gonna see if we can feather that in a little bit better. So I'm just taking this old, what is it, like 220 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna see if I can just feather this in a little bit better. And we'll take it from there. You know, it's not gonna be perfect, but at least it's not a big gaping hole in the box, right? So that's important. All right, so I'm gonna keep working on that, and then we'll touch it up with a little bit of sealer. So here's where we're at. After a little bit of sanding on this spot, a little bit of, I'm trying to match the veneer on the box. And what I'm finding is that the glue is doing its job and the tape is doing its job from the inside. But what I fear is that over time it might delaminate. So what I'm gonna do in this instance, and this is gonna be very controversial, I'm sure, but I'm actually gonna take a piece of packing tape, similar to the one I just did over here, that packing tape, and I'm gonna put it along this box just to reinforce it, just enough in this corner, just so that it never comes off, and it will provide decades more. So I think that's the best alternative right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put that on, and then we're gonna polish it up and call it a day. So here we go. So I've just taken some of my Pledge. Nice lemony smell too. It's really kind of nice. All of our Star Wars things should smell like this lemon, right? And we're just gonna go around the entire box, and we're gonna concentrate on any of the surfaces that might be a little bit worn with time. That's gonna put a little bit of moisture and a little bit of wax on those surfaces, and it's definitely gonna help preserve them. So we're just gonna go around the box like that, get those surfaces. I might even spray directly onto it like that. All right. And then make sure you get those spots. You really want those spots to be protected. That's the danger zone, right? So we're gonna keep going around that, and then I'll see you for the final reveal. And just very quickly, this land speeder is not mine. It does not belong to me. I'm shipping it back to my buddy Sam, who had me restore the whole thing. But I did want to take a look and see what it looked like among some other vintage pieces. So there's my vintage Tauntaun, actually, that Sam gifted me. So I'm really excited to have that in my collection. And then there it is. I think it's a pretty displayable looking piece. I think that looks pretty good. It's nice and sharp and square. So pretty proud of that. And then I have it among some other vintage collection things and whatnot. But there it is. Looks pretty damn good. So there you go. There you have it. There is one restored, pretty banged up land speeder box from the original Star Wars release from 1978. So this box has definitely seen better days. It's kind of fun to look back at the beginning of the video and see how far we've taken it. This is from my buddy Sam, as I've said many times in the video. He's very much a purist, doesn't like a lot of touch-ups, doesn't like a lot of, reproduction parts or anything like that. So I did leave some of the scarring. I mean, there's some battle scars over time. you know, and so for instance, you know, I didn't touch up some of the heavier wear and tear items that you see on the box. And certainly, I tried to leave it as original as possible. So if you look at this, so this is where the tape actually was applied. So there's actually some tape marks that you can still see if you're very careful. So that's where I applied the new tape, the new tape that I used. It was very minimal with the tape, just in the original spots where I could tell where it was, right here. And then I did it right here as well. So there's a piece there, and it's pretty convincing. You know, you might see a little bit of flash on the camera. And then the only other place that we had to touch up was that spot right there. So the proof of purchase had been removed, and this was a great big tattered, ugly looking spot. So what I did was I walked you through how to take a replacement piece of cardboard. We decided to try to clean up the edges, square it up. And it's not perfect by any stretch. I sanded it, I painted it, I tried to match the finish. And then just for reinforcement, it's not something I normally do, but because it's a critical corner of the box, I did put a piece of vintage looking wrapping packing tape on it, and that is definitely going to help keep this from coming apart again. Now, not that it wouldn't, but you know, again, it's not original. This isn't where tape was, but because of the nature of the damage to the box, I felt like I had to reinforce it. But I think I got him pretty close. It looks pretty good. There's not really a lot of big seams or anything. We sanded all those down. You see a little bit of flashing from the tape, but you don't really see that in person. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So there's that really awesome. That's my favorite picture on the whole box. It's almost like a superimposed movie still. So just really, really cool. Then there's even an original price tag. It says K&K. It was $5.47, $5.97, something like that. Way back in '78. So really, really cool to have this back. So one more spin around. Stay tuned for the restoration video on the Landspeeder itself. This has been a lot of fun. He gave me 2 other vehicles and boxes to restore, a vintage TIE Fighter and a vintage X-Wing. So over the course of the next several months, we'll do those as well. But here's the first one, the Landspeeder. Take care, everybody. I've got plenty of dioramas and a lot more content coming out, so stay tuned, and I hope you liked it.